And the winner for Best YouTube Movie Channel to talk about movies on YouTube would go to...
literally anybody but us.
Yeah, probably not us yet, but hopefully one day. Just staying positive about it. Anyways, let's do the show.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Tagline, the show where the tagline is the title. We are the Cinefanatics. My name is Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
And yeah, it's time to start the show. We got a lot to talk about. We don't have as much to talk about as I was hoping because we still haven't gotten anything really from James Gunn. So that being said, this is still going to be a big show because we got a lot to talk about with the Oscars.
We got a lot to talk about, but we don't got a lot to talk about, but we got a lot to talk about.
Well, I'm glad you could explain it that way. That was very succinct.
Not a lot of many different subjects, but a lot of in specific subjects.
Just one specific subject Anyways, as we get started, y'all know how the YouTube thing works. Make sure you like this video, comment if you're watching this on a replay, and subscribe. Also, while we are streaming live, if you have any questions, comments, issues, anything you want us to know about, streamlabs.com/cinefanatics is a good way to get our attention on there. And then also there is Patreon, patreon.com/cinefanatics. If you think we are worthy of your support and you have the means to support us, please hop on the tier that is good for you. For example, after the tagline tonight, we will be hopping over to our Discord in the live stream and we will be doing our monthly Patreon watch along of Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Not that we're watching that movie every month.
You worded it like we watch Winter Soldier every month.
And I saw your mouth open and the finger go up, and I'm like, I know what he's about to point out. We're not watching that movie every month, although we probably could, and I feel like I almost do anyways, just because that's the MCU is just a good throw on a movie and let it play while you're...
No, it's our monthly watch along. This month we are doing Winter Soldier, which is the next movie in our watch-alongs of the MCU, which is taking forever because we like to watch a bunch of other movies in between each one. But hey, we'll eventually get through the entire MCU. Probably not.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, if you're on the $5 due tier, you could come join us. Everyone's probably going to watch it off of Disney Plus since it's streaming, and Disney Plus has a really nice, handy-dandy watch party feature that we like using. So we'll probably do that. So that will be after tagline's over. Roughly, we try to keep it, like, say, around 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. So somewhere around there, if y'all want to hop in. Join at the $5 due tier if you're not already, and then hop over there and join us for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, upcoming shows. What do we have coming up? We do have this Friday, we're going to be doing another episode of The Marquee talking about our most anticipated movies of 2023. That is going to happen this coming Friday. That is 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern live. Just going to be me and my brother talking about what movies we anticipate. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm dumb. I'm dumb because you put up that thumbnail and I'm literally like, why is Miss Marvel on there? She was a Disney Plus show.
Yeah, I needed to figure. I wanted to squeeze something in there for the Marvel. So, yeah. Anyways, so that is coming this Friday, and I didn't put up the image, but yeah, there's the Captain America Winter Soldier watch along after tagline tonight. So yeah, that's what we've got coming up.
Well, you see, Joey, tonight is a Winter Soldier watch along, so you're out next month. Are you even in? You're not even in. Get out of here.
I was trying to figure out how I could, in all honesty, I was trying to figure out how I could put Cocaine Bear in the thumbnail, and I couldn't find a really creative way. So, yeah, unfortunately. I wanted to, though. Anyways, how is everyone doing tonight? I see a lot of people in the chat. So, yeah, thank you for being here, Dean. Glad to see Dean was here at the top of the show. Tori. Hello, Tori. Garth is not near his computer. We've got Jeremy, Tyler, Callum. Hello, Joey. Everyone here. Yeah. Gonna be a lot of fun tonight. A lot of stuff
all
to
here.
Talk about. I know we also didn't drop an episode of the podcast yesterday like we typically do. The podcast is still safe. It's perfectly fine. We're just trying to work
figure
around
out how to work it
scheduling.
out. Basically, I think we might be moving to a 2-a-month podcast instead of one every week, just because one every week right now, as we stand where we're at in our life at this current moment and everything that's going on in our world, is really hard to accomplish.
Yeah. So, yeah, there will be updates to all of that pretty soon as well. There was a big update to my life personally today, or well, over the past couple of days, but today really was solidifying. I'll be more than happy to talk about it in our Discord for the patrons tonight. But yeah, I'm not making any official announcement yet.
Otherwise, he'll talk about it in a month.
Yeah, roughly. Movies watched over this past week. I've watched like a couple of older movies, like I watched VHS 94. I watched Bachelor Party, that Tom Hanks movie. I watched that for the first time the other night. It was enjoyable. It was good. It's
Fun.
not. It's weird. It's not a movie I would expect to see Tom Hanks in, like a sex comedy. That doesn't seem like up Tom Hanks's alley, but
Nothing screams sexy like America's Dad.
I know, and that was what's really weird about it. Like all the other movies I've seen him in, even movies where he's not playing, where he's playing against type, he still seems to fit in pretty well.
Wait, how could you not think he could do a sex comedy? Did you not watch Elvis?
What was it about Elvis that makes you think? Never mind, I got it.
It's the prosthetics. Get you every time.
The only new movie I did see that I kind of want to talk about a little bit is Skinamarink. I did watch Skinamarink. If y'all aren't familiar, this is essentially like the first horror movie outside of Megan for 2023, really. And it was weird. It's definitely something artistic, and this is an example of where I would say like my ability to watch a movie may differ from a lot of other people's ability to watch movies, because I have like really bad ADHD. So sometimes if the movie's not doing something to where it needs to grab my attention, I might not be able to latch on very well. Skinamarink is kind of like that. The whole movie is entirely made up of still shots of like a wall or a corner or edge of a couch or a TV that's playing old cartoons while we are hearing what's going on. Essentially, it's about these two kids that they're stuck at home. All the doors and windows to the outside of the house have all disappeared, and you don't quite know what's going on. It's very much like, I think I've seen people compare it to Paranormal Activity meets David Lynch.
Oh yeah, of course.
And yeah, it's just really, really weird. So it didn't do very well at grabbing my attention, but I absolutely loved it for the artistic merits that it was doing. And I think it did phenomenal on that. It's just not the type of movie I would watch.
And at what point in the movie do they start singing "Skinamarink Dinky Dink, Skinamarink Doo"?
They don't.
I love you.
Which I was eager to sing along. Y'all know I like musicals.
Skinamarink Dinky Dink, Skinamarink Doo.
So, I mean, if you're capable of tolerating that kind of a movie, I highly recommend it because artistic-wise, it is absolutely gorgeous. They did a phenomenal job with making that movie. It's just not the type of movie for me. So I rated it like 4 out of 5 stars just for artistic merit, but it's not a movie I'm probably ever going to watch again.
It would have been your movie had that song been in it. Let's make this very clear.
That would have easily pushed it into 5 stars. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's the only other like new thing I've watched. I am kind of interested in checking out Infinity Pool just because I am a fan of David Cronenberg. This is his son Brandon, and I'm hearing like a lot of weird things about this movie. So I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future last year. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about. I actually did. I like watching it with all the lights off makes it really, really scary.
Wait, hold on. There's a way to do this. No.
Oh, you're talking about like right now. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I got this. Pause the show. I got this.
Click.
Skinamarink, dinky dink, skinamarink, doo.
It kind of works. I kind of see that.
Yeah, you think it actually would happen though? Like to be fair, like because how many horror movies do these like children's songs or whatever, and they do them with like creepy kids singing them or some weird, I don't know, alt rock version of them or something.
Yeah. The most we got, there was a TV that was playing like really old cartoons throughout the movie, and every once in a while you heard music and stuff. It may have played Skinamarink in the cartoons in there. I can't remember.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. But anyways, like David, but I'm on the fence about Brandon. Creepy kid singing is tight. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Was that an easy movie to watch? Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that's all we got so far as stuff kept up. You say you haven't watched anything new over the past week?
Yeah. No, I've been working on a bunch of other things.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get into movie news. There's going to be a lot of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
Hi, welcome to your 6th week of Avatar's the #1 movie in the box office.
I was going to try to guess.
We're currently scheduled, according to the watch that's not on my arm here, for another 3 or so, maybe almost 4 weeks.
About 4 or 5. Yeah.
4 or 5.
AntMan.
Yeah, we got about 4 or 5 more weeks of this being at #1 until AntMan comes out. So don't expect to get off this ride anytime soon. You're strapped in for good. And by again, for good, I mean 4 to 5 weeks. Yes, that's right. Avatar: The Way of Water is still #1 for the 6th week in a row. Grossed about 20 million this past weekend. So it is slowing down for Avatar standards. So that's to be kind of expected at this point. #2, we've got Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Actually boosted up from #3 from last week, I believe. Yeah, Puss in Boots and Megan basically just swapped positions on the chart. I think Puss in Boots is actually getting a lot of really good word of mouth, and there's a joke in there somewhere. I don't really want to make it. Anyway, #3, like I said, is Megan, pulling in another 9.7 million. So 3rd week, and it's still sitting in the top 3. Granted, there's not a whole lot of competition out there right now. So despite that, I still say Megan should be considered an all-around success, considering that we're already, I believe, having greenlit a sequel. So yeah, we talked about that last week. So there you go.
Tori, it's Puss. Puss is in Boots. Just in case. Seemed like she needed clarification on that.
So #4 is a new release this week. It's one that you actually saw several weeks ago because you had the opportunity to do so. It's Missing.
Oh, Missing?
Yeah. Missing opened to about 9.1 million. So as far as I'm aware, do you know what the budget for that movie was? Because 9.1 million for an opening for a movie that takes place entirely on a computer screen or various screens.
I don't know.
Searching did. Feels like a good opening.
I don't know, but the amount of work that was done in post-production for that, I mean, looking at the amount of work I had to do for the review where I was basically doing that was just a small, 7-9 minute long review, whatever, for the movie. And I did minimal screen stuff, but even the stuff I did, it took like an entire day to edit that.
So the difference here is that these people are professionals.
Yeah, they're probably much faster.
What you did, they could have done in 5 minutes.
Probably. Wow, what a shame your older brother there.
It's no shame. You don't have training and schooling.
I'm learning as we go.
There you go.
And getting better each and every day.
They also have faster computers and more proficient software for that kind of thing too. So there's the technology side that they have as well. But that being said, again, I think that's probably a pretty good opening for Missing. I don't think it's going to bump any higher than 4th place. I think we will see it probably either hang out at 4th place or start dropping down, and that'll just be its entire box office run at that point. I wouldn't be shocked to see that actually hitting streaming, within that 45-day window as well, like a lot of movies are doing now. Yeah. Just depends on what streaming service is picking up Sony movies. I think probably Netflix maybe, but anyway. 5th place, we got A Man Called Otto. Speaking of Tom Hanks. 6th place, we have Plane. And 7 is House Party. 8. This is a Crunchyroll distributed movie. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the movie, Scarlet Bond. Crunchyroll tells me it's anime.
That happened to me back in high school.
That is a title.
I was reincarnated as slime. Blah, 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 blah.
That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the movie, Scarlet Bond.
Yeah, okay.
Anime be doing things, yo. And that's the story of the box office. 9th place, we got Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is about to make its Disney Plus debut, so I could see it falling off the top 10 here pretty soon. May get some resurgence due to the Angela Bassett nom, but I don't think so. It's just just a little bit. Number 10, we got The Whale, which is probably going to hang out for a little bit due to the story around Brendan Fraser. So there you go. That's your top 10. That's your top 10 box office, y'all.
Awesome.
Woo! We did it.
What's next before we start talking about Oscars?
What's next before we start talking about Oscars? Y'all know what's next before we start talking about Oscars. Let's be honest. There is absolutely no news on Barbie right now.
I just wanted to play the thing.
I really just want to play the intro. No, here's the thing. I dug real deep and found a website that made an article that's loosely related to the Barbie movie. Collider, some of y'all might know who they are.
Sounds familiar.
They made a top 10 list that we all need to get on board with. This is the top 10 OG Barbie princess movies to watch before 2023's Barbie. So I'm going to go through and read this top 10 list for you real quick. Yeah, there's 10. There's way more than 10 Barbie movies.
I need to watch 10 Barbie movies before I go see Barbie.
Oh yeah,
the movie.
These are all must watch.
Oh, good Lord. All right.
Let's start with 2003's at number 10. 2003's Barbie of Swan Lake.
Seen that. Yeah.
Delightful unicorn. This Barbie actually looks exactly like the doll. That's kind of crazy. Moving up to number 9, Barbie and the Secret Door came out in 2014.
Seen that one also.
We're doing all 10. Yes. Strap in. Number 8, 2009's Barbie Thumbelina. And good Lord, I think I'm looking at a picture of Thumbelina right now, and that's some uncanny valley. Oof. Number 7 is 2010's Barbie in a Mermaid Tale. No comments on that one. All right. Number 6, 2011 is Barbie, A Fairy Secret. And this is, let's clarify. This is not a secret about a large passenger boat. This is a secret about a little like wood nymph thing, like a fairy.
Okay.
This is falling flat. Number 5, we've got Barbie as Rapunzel from 2002. Not the Disney's Rapunzel, the far better version.
I have seen that on the shelf at video stores.
You can find it there. It's located there. Number 4, let's speed this along. Barbie, the Pearl Princesses 2014. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you can run out of so many things to be specific to a princess over. You got Pearl here. I don't know if there's a Barbie X princess. I don't know. That's a good joke. Stick with it. Number 3, turns out you can. There are other things that you can call princesses. This is Barbie and the Island Princess from 2007. There's an elephant with crazy eyelashes here. Goodness. Number 2, we've got 2008's Barbie and the Diamond Castle. Ooh, mysterious. It's an entire castle made of diamonds. I don't know. It's not pictured here. I would assume. And then drum roll, please, for your number one Barbie movie that you need to watch before 2023. That's this year's Barbie.
Good, because at this point, we're going to be talking about the Oscar nominations when the Oscars come out.
Barbie as the Princess and the Pauper from 2004. Woo! There's your top 10 Barbie movies as given to us by Collider.com that we need to watch before we watch Margot Robbie's Barbie movie. And here's the beautiful thing. Tonight, we've got a watch-along on our Patreon. And guess what? We fooled you all. Just kidding. No, we didn't. We're still watching Winter Soldier.
I was like, we're not watching a Barbie movie.
We're not watching Barbie. We're not. I'm going to be honest. I'm not watching any of these before the Margot Robbie Barbie movie.
So Malcolm's got an idea. Do we want to do a marquee episode of the 10 Barbie movies?
Hey, that'd be hilarious. Hell no.
We're not doing that.
Nope. The only Barbie movie I have any interest in is the one featured in this intro sequence. I came up with the idea for that Barbie watch 30 minutes before we went on air.
Good job. All right, moving on to actual movie news.
So how much time did I waste with that?
Guys, we got a little less than a month. Yeah, I know, about 10 minutes.
Awesome.
We got a little less than a month before Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania comes out. And some dingbat decided to leak the script, or at least a part of it. Doesn't actually look like it was the whole script that was leaked, more of just a detailed plot.
Oh,
kind of like what you see on Wikipedia after a movie comes out when someone goes through and just types up the entire plot of the movie. So this has leaked, giving some insight to it. I'm not going to talk about it at all. We're just talking about the leaking itself. And yeah, I know that was weirdly worded on my end. Welcome to the Cinefanatics, where I weirdly word things all the time. Yeah, so that's it. It leaked.
If we don't hurry up, I'm going to have to take a leak. Let's do this.
Anyways, so yeah, apparently Kevin Feige and all the suits at the MCU have released their hounds looking after where this leaked from. So
Sniper, get down.
Apparently Corey Stoll leaked the script. Now the thing though is, I saw the person who leaked it and it didn't look like Corey Stoll. So I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Speaking of Kevin Feige, you know what we haven't seen for a while?
Our favorite mafia mob boss leader, Mr. Godfather Kevin Feige.
It's time for the Feige family updates. Hey, what's going on? It's the Feige family. Forget about it. Don't worry about it.
Feige.
Superhero fatigue. Forget about it. There's no superhero
Feige.
fatigue.
Feige's here. Fatigue about... Okay.
What fatigue? There's no fatigue.
Where's my bat? I need to beat this joke.
Yeah. Kevin Feige was interviewed recently and asked about if he believes there's such thing as a superhero fatigue. His answer was no.
Because it's good for money.
This has been your Feige family update. No.
Okay. Hold on. Let's talk about this.
So his example, his reasoning that he was saying, no, because when Gone with the Wind came out, there wasn't a fatigue on people watching movies based off of books. They still make movies based off of books. Granted, sure, I understand his example that there's a lot of movies based off of books and still will be. Superheroes are something very specific, though. If you were to be making a bunch of movies based off of one brand of book, if we were to have an influx of Stephen King horror movies based off of his books just coming out one right after another, maybe 3 per year, every year for 15 years, would you see a fatigue on that?
I don't know. I feel like The Dark Tower gave everybody Stephen King fatigue immediately.
Pretty much, yeah. So something like that, yeah, that's going to cause fatigue. I mean, right now we're at a point where still when movie tickets go on sale, especially for like MCU movies, we're hearing still stories of like the movie theaters ticket servers crashing. Like I didn't hear that for Avatar. Did anyone hear about like the movie theaters not being able to, their websites not working when it came time to buy tickets for Avatar?
I don't know.
Not really. In fact, I don't think I got ours. I didn't think I got our tickets for like a week later, and I was still able to get like fantastic seats for it. So
yeah.
So that's a little weird. That being said, nice. Welcome to Chris Adams' hair needs to be cut moment.
Oh, it does. It really does.
You look like you're back at the beginning of the pandemic, and like your barber's just not allowed to cut your hair.
Have you seen Teen Wolf?
Not. I've seen the original with Michael J. Fox.
Baby face, lot of hair.
Yeah.
As you were saying.
Yeah, so like when the tickets for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania went on sale, I don't think there was like a huge amount of server crashing, but I did hear people talking about, here it goes, tickets went on sale, we got to go get the tickets, hopefully the servers work. People were still making references to it because it's been primarily Marvel movies that we've seen that problem with recently.
Yeah, wasn't it Black Panther was the last one that we had some crashing over?
Black Panther did, yeah. No Way Home had that. Yeah. And of course, Avengers Endgame, I think, was really the one that really kicked it off and started it. I think there was like a little bit with the last Star Wars movie, Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, I believe there was. If I remember history and our past at all correctly.
But otherwise, yeah, it's usually always Marvel movies that are crashing movie theater servers. So
as it turns out, they're really popular. Who knew?
Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be a full-on fatigue. It really depends. It depends on how the MCU is going to continue, especially like I'm expecting Kang is going to be introduced and kind of reinvigorate a lot of like what was dull about Phase 4. And then there's also whatever James Gunn is doing with the DC Comics universe, that if it's done in the right direction, that could also help.
I liked the rest of Kevin Feige's quote here where he's saying, no, hold on. Marvel itself has about 80 something years nearly of stories that we can draw from, that we can turn into any genre, you know, just as we see with like Winter Soldiers, that political thriller, or, you know, other night. Yeah, where you had Werewolf by Night dived into the horror genre a little bit. You have the ability to take these Marvel stories and do these play around with these different genres and stuff. And I think that Kevin Feige is right on the money there, which is, look, if you feel like all these superhero movies are just strictly the superhero swoops in, saves the day, woo, okay, we're good, moving on, then yeah, sure, there's probably going to be some fatigue if it's all the same exact story and plays out all the same exact way, but it's not. There's so many stories and they all play out differently, and they can all play out even more differently in movie form. So I think he's right. I don't think there's going to be real superhero fatigue ever. I think the superhero movies have hit their stride and they're here to stay now. It's just like any other subgenre of film. You know, there's maybe a couple that we don't see that often. Maybe we don't see a Western that often, or we don't see, detective movies. You get a couple of them here and there. You got Knives Out kind of really doing the resurgence of them a little bit, but for the most part, you don't typically see a whole lot of these subgenres. Superhero is one that I think is going to stick around, and I think superhero works just like horror movies work, in which case it's a genre that can mesh well with different other genres. You can do a comedy horror, you can do like romantic horror, you can do all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to find that superhero movies aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, and like I agree with this. The Batman felt more like a detective movie rather than as just a straight up superhero movie,
and that's true. I think that really lends to the fact that it's a very grounded. Like that one's probably the most realistic I've ever seen Batman be, even taking into consideration Nolan's very grounded movies too.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's move on. Before we talk about the Oscars, let's talk about one other kind of an aspect of something that happens every year when the Oscar nominations come out. There is an organization you may be familiar with. They are referred to as the Razzies. This is an organization that it's supposed to be for fun. They usually will honor the worst in movies and movie making, acting, and whatnot.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be satirical, much like, say, like if you go and you read news on The Onion.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be taken seriously. And it just feels like for like the past couple of years, the Razzies really haven't been, let's say, funny. Funny is a good word. It's I don't know. It's lost some of its luster. Like I remember when I was younger hearing about it, I was like, that's funny. Especially when you got something like what was it? Sandra Bullock got nominated for All About Steve. I think she actually won, if I remember correctly.
And she showed up.
And she showed up and gave away copies of All About Steve that were like in a wheelbarrow on stage.
That is Razzies at its best, when the actors, when it's it's still a celebration of movie making, but it's also a fun satirical poking fun at award shows, and the actors show up and are acknowledging and fun and having fun poking fun at themselves.
So I use Sandra Bullock for the example because the same time, that same year, she was also nominated, and I also believe she won the Oscar for The Blind Side. So same year. I think it's also the same year that The Proposal came out with Ryan Reynolds. So busy year for her. Mm-hmm. But yeah, to your point, I think Halle Berry showed up to the Razzie Awards to accept her award for Catwoman.
Yeah.
I believe, I want to say, was it Gore Verbinski, I believe, directed Showgirls, and he showed up to accept his Razzie for that as well.
Yeah, so I mean, you have situations and examples of all these folks coming and showing up for their award, which I love those situations. Those are great. Those are what actually, I think those are
like Verbinski, Paul Verhoeven.
I
always get those. I've done that before, but yeah.
All those ver last names get you. But yeah, I mean, I think that's where you see Razzies, what they're meant to be, shining at their best, is when it's a situation. But I think to have a situation like that specifically work now, the way everything is kind of floated and gone, the direction it's all gone, you almost have to script it, I think. And being off script leads to a lot of trouble.
As it did this year.
Yeah.
When the Razzies, in their infinite wisdom, decided to nominate now 12-year-old Ryan Kiera Armstrong, who played the lead in the remake of Firestarter for this past year. 12-year-old little girl. Yep. And so they nominated, and the internet broke. So the thing with this, and I don't want to touch upon it too much because the Razzies did apologize for it. And here's the real thing. In fact, you know what? I'll just skip straight to that. If y'all have seen the apology, this is probably, in my opinion, one of the better apologies we've seen for anything on the internet. It's like, sometimes you do things without thinking, then you're called out for it, then you get it. That's why the Razzies were created in the first place, that's a weird statement. But the recent valid criticism of the choice of 11-year-old Armstrong as a nominee for one of our awards brought to our attention how insensitive we've been in this instance. As a result, we've removed her name from the final ballot that the members cast next month. We also believe a public apology is owed to her. We wish to say we regret any hurt she experienced from the result of our choices. Having learned from this lesson, we would like to announce that from this point forward, we are adopting a voting guideline precluding any performer or filmmaker under the age of 18 years of age from being considered for our awards. We never intended to bury anyone's career, which is why our Redeemer Award was created. We all make mistakes, very much us included. Since our motto is own your bad, we realize that we ourselves must also live up to it. Sincerely, John Wilson of the Razzie Awards. Fantastic apology.
Hold on. Did we just see somebody take accountability for their actions?
And
on
in
the internet?
In the same breath, made a change. And it was the 100% correct change. So a lot of people are like, but if you're going to be in Hollywood, you should get used to this, which is absolutely a true statement. The problem with this is, say, like this little girl, 12 years old, seems like fairly new at getting into the acting career. Maybe this is her dream. Maybe she wants to be in this, and she will learn how Hollywood works.
Yeah,
eventually on her own. She doesn't need some big organization like the Razzies pointing out that she may not have done her best work. You don't need to tell a 12-year-old that when they're still working on honing their craft.
Yeah. So basically the problem here is that when somebody is new on the scene, is a child, and is really just starting out hoping to have a full-on career someday from this, this is a good way to kill the momentum of that happening. Yeah. This is a great way to essentially destroy any dream, as well as guide all bullying and fingers being pointed at a young lady who is, for all intents and purposes, could end up being like a multi-Oscar award-winning actress one day if she's just encouraged at her young age to, continue going, to keep going, and not being pointed out, hey, you did a terrible job in this movie. That's an awful thing to do. It's an awful thing to do. And I would like to point out that there is history of child actors who have taken criticism and it ruined their lives and career. Namely, let's look at Jake Lloyd, who played young Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace. And he got so much criticism online about his portrayal of Anakin, from all different corners of the internet. And his life just completely went in a different direction. He might have actually continued to love acting and continued to pursue acting and do great roles and everything had that not happened.
Yeah.
Then the key here is to understand children are very impressionable at a young age. If you have a major organization that gets a lot of public news and discourse, basically, calling you out or saying that, you did a terrible job in a movie, that's so it's such an impressionable thing to do to a child. And so, yes, it is horrible that they went ahead and put her on the ballot. It's a great move on their part to take her back off. She shouldn't have been on there to begin with, but I for one am glad to hear that they're doing that. I think they need to still go an extra step though and kind of revitalize and redo what the Razzies are supposed to be and how they're done and what they represent.
So that would be my question now going forward is, again, like the past couple of years, the Razzies have always done something that stirs up the ire of the internet, which I know internet's going to internet. They have to. That's just the way the internet is. But are we at a point now where the Razzies may not actually need to be a thing? So if we're looking at trying to make jokes or be satirical about movies, sure, the Razzies is probably one of the earlier, more public ones. But now because of the internet, look at everything we have that basically does that for us. Let's talk about the plethora of YouTube channels that there are. Honest Trailer, Cinema Sins, Pitch Meeting, all of these basically in some form roast or make fun of movies. Even if the movie is good, they're still making fun of it.
Yeah.
So we've got tons of stuff like that, while the Razzies just flat out say, we're nominating what was one of the nominations? Wasn't it like Tom Hanks in his outfit in Elvis as like worst couple? It's funny, kind of chucklish, but
kind of dumb.
But that's it. That's the extent of the humor on that. It's like, I don't know if we need. Yeah, I did see this. If y'all see AJ Lancaster's tweet, that one was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it might be. It might be about time to retire the Razzies. Just saying. I think there's better places. I don't think it's necessarily needed. And in situations like this, it's giving off more of a real personal issue than it is just supposed to be funny. Haha.
It's what I said. Razzies need to move into a much more heightened satirical, maybe even scripted type of situation, and maybe not open things to a public voting. Maybe not try to destroy, I say destroy. I use that term in a different way, but maybe not try to tear down is what I should say. Some very serious actors and their very serious work. Like I get Catwoman and Halle Berry showing up and All About Steve and Sandra Bullock showing up, and like those are fine. The actors are there. They're fine with it. They are having fun with it.
They got it.
And they're also, the two of them are also very established actresses who've been in the industry for a while, who've been around the block. They know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Getting a Razzie nomination is not hurting them at all whatsoever.
Yeah, they're perfectly fine with that. They're laughing it off and they're moving on and accepting Academy Awards for their next film. So this, for them, perfectly fine. For this young girl though, yeah. She's not at that stage in her career. She's not going to be able to turn around, laugh it off, have fun with it, and then sleep well at night and hope that tomorrow she can make an Academy Award winning movie. That's not how this is going to work.
Yeah.
So
anyways, good on them for stepping up. Good apology, action moving forward. That's probably one of the most respectable things I've seen any company do. And it's weird that it's the Razzies, but okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some fun topics, though. Let's talk about those Oscar nominations that came out yesterday.
Those there Oscar nominations.
Oh man, do I have a list of stuff here? So, kind of like what we do before. I'm going to start at like the bottom, almost kind of like what they do. Start with the lesser known, and we'll work our way up. Kind of just going over who the nominations are. I'm going to include in each category, briefly mention like who got snubbed, so we could talk about those as well in each category, and then kind of like who do we think is going to win versus who actually is probably going to win if we want to do that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the ones, at least for me, who I think or who I want to win is probably who is actually going to win in most cases.
For a few of them, yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so let's start off with, let's see, what do we got down here? We've got the other awards. Academy Honorary Awards will go to Uzan Palsy, Diane Warren, and Peter Weir. And then you've got the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award goes to Michael J. Fox. That's awesome. I think all those people I just named are going to win their awards. So looking pretty good there.
Website are you going off of here? Because I'm on the Oscar website itself.
I'm just going Wikipedia.
Oh,
usually the easiest for me to read. So starting off with best visual effects. Let me see. We've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: Way of Water, Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun: Maverick.
So my only real issue here, I think, is Batman being here over, say, like Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is snubbed on this.
I'm trying to think what happened in the Batman that, I mean, there's going to be a lot of practical effects, so you can't rule out practical, because I think that's one thing you always got to keep in mind is practical effects are huge. But
So that's why I'm also, at least for me, I'm also saying what was snubbed. I'm putting in Terrifier 2, but that also was mainly practical effects, which means it may be more for makeup than actual digital visual effects, because I don't remember really any digital effects in Terrifier 2.
Also, Terrifier 2 was never going to be up for this.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. I'm going to cover some that, like, first of all, obviously the Academy typically ignores horror. I'm going to put some horror in here because horror makes movies also.
Speak a little bit in.
Yeah.
Salt Bay, some horror in here.
You will hear me talk about Terrifier 2 at least one other time in this, and there will be a couple other horror movies that came out this past year, because 2022 was a phenomenal year for horror. So
so for this, I think we're pretty dead on, except I think I probably would still switch out the Batman for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but otherwise, who do I think is going to win? Probably Avatar.
This is Avatar's award. If you think anyone other than Avatar is going to win, you're insane.
Yeah. So, best film editing, we've got Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick. Snubbed on this one, seems a lot of people seem to be saying All Quiet on the Western Front, and I would also say Barbarian. I think part of what made Barbarian really good was some of the editing options that they did.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what movie do I think is going to win, and very likely is actually going to win? That's got to be Everything Everywhere All at Once. That movie is a prime example of editing movies 101.
I think this one is definitely EIOs to lose. I like saying it that way. Everything
People
Everywhere All at Once is people in the streets. If not them, I could see Elvis being the dark horse here behind them and kind of coming in, because a Baz Luhrmann movie has editing. That's a quote. That's a quote. I can see people like, hey, here's a quote from Chris Adams. Baz Luhrmann movies have editing. But to be honest, like they usually are a pretty good example of some like pretty solid editing skills. So
that would be the poll quote that's on the front of the Blu-ray cover. Baz Luhrmann has editing, said by Chris Adams from the Cinefanatics. Make sure y'all subscribe to that channel, because man, they're insightful over there.
Baz Luhrmann movies have editing.
They have editing.
They also have acting and directing, as it turns out.
Oh. Well, I don't know about directing. We'll talk about that when we get to directors here. Anyways, best costume design. We've got Babylon, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Miss Harris Goes to Paris. I really don't have anything for this one as far as snubbed. I would probably, I don't know, I kind of lean more on, I'm thinking either Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, or Everything Everywhere All at Once are the ones that stand out for me.
Yeah. We say that with, again, we still haven't seen Babylon yet, haven't had a chance to go check it out. I can see Babylon kind of being up there. Yeah, I would give this one probably to Black Panther, but I can see an argument also for Elvis here as well. Given just every aspect of how they made Austin Butler look like Elvis, including costuming. So, but I'm going Black Panther on that one.
That's what I would probably go with as well. Best makeup and hairstyling. We've got All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale.
I was completely confused by the Batman being on this until I remembered Colin Farrell as the Penguin, and then I was like, oh yeah, never mind. That makes sense.
Yeah. So for snubbed on this, this would also be where I would bring up Terrifier 2 again because of the makeup. And also Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
So I know that's a big one for Tori, is that was also snubbed. Based off of what's there though for makeup and hairstyling, I feel like it really should come down to the Batman and the Whale, which honestly sounds like a fantastic fairy tale. The Batman and the Whale.
Isn't it just Pinocchio?
It's the sequel to the Walrus and the Carpenter. But basically, I feel like it comes down to those two for pretty much the same exact reason. It's the makeup done on one particular actor, and the makeup is flawless. You can't recognize that that's Colin Farrell as Penguin. While for the Well, I do recognize that it's Brendan Fraser, but just the makeup, and I'm guessing, I guess you would include like the fat suit that he was in as a part of makeup as well. Because, I mean, there's a lot of prosthetics and stuff involved in that. Yeah. I would say those two are probably the front runners. And if they are including the suit that Brendan Fraser had to wear, I would actually give it to the Whale over the Batman.
I lean towards the Batman here. That makeup on Colin Farrell was flawless. The Penguin makeup was flawless. He looked like a real human. So there was zero uncanny valley in his makeup.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And on top of that, he looked like a human that wasn't Colin Farrell. Now, of course, you also add in Colin Farrell's acting abilities to make you believe that it wasn't Colin Farrell as well.
Yeah,
that's also good. But the makeup job, if you just left the makeup job, you take a picture of him and you say, all right, name the actor this is. Couldn't do it. Would never in a million years have picked that was Colin Farrell. So I think they did a fantastic job on the makeup for him. Yeah. I believe it won't be Elvis because Tom Hanks. Moving on.
Yeah. The only thing going back to Colin Farrell being completely unrecognizable is I will also mention the remake of Suspiria back in 2018. It was done by Luca Guadagnino. There's a character in that movie, if y'all have seen it, played by Tilda Swinton. She's actually under heavy makeup and prosthetics made to look like an older gentleman, like senior citizen, and you can't tell. It looks like it's some random old guy that they got to play this part. In fact, they sold it so well. If you look at the cast list in the actual movie, that character is credited as some unknown actor that we've never heard of, when in real life it was Tilda Swinton playing the actor playing that role. And that's insane. It didn't get a nomination either, and that was fantastic. Just about as good.
Wait, so you're saying she was a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude?
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah. Nomination for Robert Downey Jr. when he did it, but not for Tilda Swinton when she does it. All right, whatever.
It's sexist. Anyway, yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I'm not too big on a whole lot of like snubs here. I think what you got to think Batman is the winner too.
Yeah. Best cinematography, we've got nominated All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths. Never heard of that. Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar.
How in the hell is Top Gun Maverick not on this list?
Not only that, but also Larkin Sepul for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, both of those. Why are they not?
How are those not on here?
What the hell?
I mean, I do, even though I haven't seen or really even heard of Empire of Light, got to give it up to Roger Deakins.
I'm sure it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Deakins is one of those names that's synonymous with that category now. If, like, here in a minute when we talk about best original score, if John Williams made a movie that year, I expect his name to be in that category. Yeah. If Roger Deakins is shooting a movie in the past year, I expect his name to be on there now.
Wasn't Top Gun on the short list for this too?
Possibly.
I think it was.
But yeah, from what I've heard, I I would probably have to say right now, I've heard people saying All Quiet on the Western Front is probably going to win that.
That from what I'm seeing right here, that feels like the winner out of this list.
War movies tend to get a lot on cinematography, especially like if you go back and you look at 1917, which I believe was Deakins as well.
I want to rewatch that movie. It was so good.
Also, well, given the fact that that movie was also filmed as a one take, even though it wasn't actually done in one take, it was filmed like it was.
It never is one take.
Yeah. There's no way. You don't put your entire production budget on a one take. No.
You can't. No human can physically do that.
No. But yeah, I think All Quiet on Western Front's going to get that one. Production design, really don't have too much on this one. All Quiet on Western Front, Avatar: Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and Fabelmans. I mean, it could go almost to any of those. I really don't have an opinion on that one.
Yeah, I can see it going. I can see arguments for, like, say, Elvis or Babylon for how they
pieces.
Yeah, for being the period, essentially a period piece, more or less. But you have big argument for All Quiet on the Western Front, of course. Another, again, war movies are huge in this kind of category too.
Mm-hmm.
Avatar: Way of Water, you can't overlook just how the whole production design. I mean, that movie is visual effects and production design. That is what the Avatar movies are representing now. So especially when you look at how it's shot too, I know it leaks into cinematography a little bit, but how it's shot too, how they're utilizing real water with the actual actors and everything. I don't know. This one's hard. For the lack of awards that Babylon is up for, I could see a Babylon win here. I could see a Babylon win here, even over Avatar. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't count Avatar out of this.
Yeah. Anyways, next one, Best Sound, which I believe now encompasses sound editing and sound effects. So all in one. You got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun: Maverick.
That's kind of a stacked list for this category.
It is. I would probably. I really don't have like much of an opinion on this either. I would kind of want to probably lean towards Top Gun: Maverick.
The bias in me is saying Top Gun: Maverick.
Yeah. I could also see potential for The Batman. Only because the one particular scene in The Batman where he's chasing Penguin down in the Batmobile, they've got some good sound design in that scene. So
how can All Quiet be nominated?
Y'all are dumb. Best sound, All Quiet. Well, shit.
Have you seen? Wasn't Quiet Place a Quiet Place?
Yeah, Quiet Place. Yeah.
Didn't they win? I don't know. I can't remember.
I think they did.
I can't remember. Anyway. Again, another category that a war movie usually will always be nominated for. So it does make sense to see All Quiet on the Western Front on this list. I personally still think it goes to Top Gun: Maverick because there's just sound is one of the key elements necessary in order to make that movie immersive and work as well as it does. Nope was snubbed.
Yeah, Nope was snubbed on this. So
yeah. Nope is a snub on this list. I would probably at that point put Nope over Avatar. Because Avatar is more of a visual effects fair. You don't necessarily need, like, I don't remember anything. Nothing really stands out to me about the sound editing or the sound effects of Avatar, other than maybe like whale noises. But if I were to take a movie off of this list and put Nope in its place, I'd probably take Avatar off.
Yeah. Let me see. So moving on to Best Original Song. The nominations for that, you've got Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, Hold My Hand from Top Gun: Maverick, Lift Me Up from Wakanda Forever, Natu Natu from RRR, and This Is Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Snubbed on this is Carolina by Taylor Swift from Where the Crawdads Sing, and Ciao Papa from Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Both of those seem to have a lot. Obviously, I think we have a pretty good idea of what song's going to win. Lift Me Up should be a pretty strong contender.
Yeah,
but RRR's Natu Natu is on such a winning streak right now,
and it's the fact that it's not nominated for literally anything else.
Yeah, it really needs to win.
Also, again, I think I asked this question on my stream. I'm going to ask it here. Do we not still have live performances of music at the Oscars, or is that one of the things that they've cut out and have brought back? Because I need a freaking live performance of Natu Natu at the Oscars, please and thank you.
Yeah, and like full on choreographed, like I'll just do everything they did in the movie. Just do that on the stage with everybody involved. Yeah, make it an entire celebration.
Yeah, I need that. Natu Natu is the one I hope wins here. I can see Lift Me Up getting it. If you think about the connections it has to what Black Panther Wakanda Forever represents, the fact that the Academy kind of botched the whole Chadwick Boseman Award in years past.
Yeah.
I can see that connection happening, and I can touch on that a little bit too, because I think that comes into play in multiple instances. But I honestly personally would love to see Natu Natu take it, just because I think that'd be a lot of fun. And it's not nominated for literally anything else, and RRR needs to be recognized on a very large public scale.
Yep. So moving on, best original score, we've got All Quiet on the Western Front by Volker Bertelmann.
Sure.
Babylon by Justin Hurwitz.
Yep.
Banshees of Inisherin by Carter Burwell. Everything Everywhere All at Once by Son Lux. And Fablemans by John Williams. Snubbed on this, we are missing Alexander Desplat for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and we're also missing Hildur Guðnadóttir from Tar. I'm working on it. I'm working on that pronunciation, but yeah,
out there.
Also missing her. Those two are some pretty big ones.
You could argue this as well.
Batman.
Giacchino for Batman.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. You could argue that one as well.
I mean, out of what's on there, I mean, obviously the easy answer is John Williams. John Williams did a score. He's nominated. Give him the Oscar.
But if you're actually to take a look at it, I think you're gonna find Babylon on this one probably.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people like really pushing for Justin Hurwitz on that. So Babylon's probably going to get that one.
Yeah. I like me some Justin Hurwitz. I support him for a myriad of reasons. You all can probably guess what that reason is.
This one, some of these should be pretty quick because I don't think either one of us really have an opinion on this. Best animated short film, you've got The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. That was all one title. The Flying Sailor, Ice Merchants, My Year of Dicks.
Excuse me?
An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I Think I Believe It. First of all, these are some great titles for some of these.
I have no opinion on any of this.
An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I Think I Believe It. Like, that is sold just on the title alone.
Yeah, if we're gonna go on title alone, it's either that or My Year of Dicks.
My Year of Dicks is pretty.
I just want to hear them say that at the Oscars, honestly.
What is that about? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Is it pretty self-explanatory?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have an opinion on this. I haven't seen these. Yeah. Does anybody know where you can find these too? Because actually, if they're short films, if they're short enough, it might be worth actually rolling through them real quick and having an opinion on them.
Yeah. We'll see as we get closer to the Oscars. Again, we're very likely going to do a live watch along. We're probably going to, as we get closer to it, we'll talk about these nominations again, probably A lot of the movies that we haven't seen yet, we will have seen by then. So we probably will have a better opinion. Like, oh yeah, Babylon's definitely going to win that. Like we would have seen Babylon by then. So
yeah.
Best live action short film. We've got An Irish Goodbye, Evalu, Le Pupille, Night Ride, and The Red Suitcase. Again, I don't know of any of these, so I'm trying to look at like the names and see if there's any names of these that might be familiar. The only one I really recognize is Le Pupille. Looks like was done by Alice Rohrwacher and Alfonso Cuarón. So I recognize Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah.
So, let's see. I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't have anything as far as snubbed goes. Best documentary short subject: Elephant Whispers, Haul Out, How Do You Measure a Year, which is going to make me want to sing that Rent song. The Martha Mitchell Effect and Stranger at the Gate. Again, I don't recognize really any names or any titles. I haven't heard of any of these.
Yeah.
Best documentary feature. We've got All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, A House Made of Splinters, and Navalny.
Wasn't Moon Age Daydream a documentary?
That's the one that I was going to say. That's one that's a snub for documentary is Moon Age Daydream. I saw the preview for Moon Age Daydream everywhere. And as beloved as David Bowie and his music is, I would have expected to see that on there. So
yeah, that's kind of surprising.
Yeah, so that one's really.
I would classify that as the snub here.
Yeah. Let's talk about a very egregious snub. Best international feature film. We've got All Quiet on the Western Front.
There's an asterisk on this, by the way.
Yeah. Argentina 1985, Close, EO, and The Quiet Girl.
I'm sure all of these movies are fine.
Yeah. And based off of just those, I'm pretty sure All Quiet on the Western Front is going to win that. The biggest of all snubs, in my opinion, because I actually care about this one, is RRR. Why did India not submit RRR for international?
There was another film. So the way I read it is it comes down to Bollywood versus Tollywood, and the market share of those two. Whatever we call them, however we call them. Yeah. So those two and how they kind of battle out how India decides to enter a movie in this. And it looks like Bollywood, I think, made it over Tollywood's RRR, which is a shame because I really do think that you put RRR on this list, and given the international appeal that movie has had, the popularity of it, one, I'm shocked that India didn't go with this, but two, I don't know their line of reasonings. I think it wins. I think it wins if it gets on the list.
Yeah.
Yes, this is also another one. I believe this was Korea. Decision to Leave is another big snub. I use quotes on the term snub for this because it all comes down to also, like we said with RRR, how the countries enter their film in the nomination pool.
Yeah.
So
that was just weird.
It's sad. It's sad to see RRR not on here because I think that was an easy win right there. But
yeah. Best animated feature film. You've got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. You've got Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. You've got Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. Pretty much all of these are exactly like the Globes, except for Sea Beast instead of whatever it was called, Inshu or something like that.
Yeah. There's always one on this list that I'm like, I haven't heard about this movie at all. And it's the Sea Beast. There's always one on the animated list. I hear about all the rest. It's that one.
I want to highlight your tweet that you made about this category because that was actually, I had to stop. I was like, wait,
A tweet that nobody saw, by the way. It's such a good tweet, and it's perfect. It highlights a very perfect thing, and nobody saw it.
Yeah,
I'm so pissed.
So
come on, Twitter.
Your tweet was like, "How did Marcel the Shell with shoes on?" Granted, the only thing really animated is Marcel and any members of his family, and family and friends. Basically, the rest of that movie is entirely live action. Takes place in the real world altogether. How is that nominated for Best Animated when Avatar 2 is made up primarily of an entire cast of digital characters? This goes back to the whole the argument of, is the Lion King remake a animated movie or is it live action?
Yeah, so there's nuance to both of these because even the animated aspects of Marcel are still live action pieces. I mean, it's stop motion animation, which does still count as animation. Yeah. But everything about Marcel is pretty much live action. Everything about Avatar, while shot from live actors, is pretty much digital creation. There's a couple, as we've seen in the first Avatar, there's a couple people there who are actual live actors. There's, I think, less in this one than there were in the first Avatar, but there's still a fair grouping of individuals who are actual live actors on an actual live set, and there's no digital recreation of them. There's no animation over them. So the balance here is very strange to me. I just think it's hilarious that Marcel is nominated for animated and you're not nominating Avatar for animated as well.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it. I just think the dichotomy there is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the odds-on favorite here is Pinocchio. Is Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Probably, yeah.
And most of it has to do with Del Toro's name being attached to it. The movie was good. It's a good interpretation of Pinocchio.
My question is, would people still favor it as highly had the other two Pinocchios that came out this past year not come out? Had the Disney one and then whatever that other like really cheap generic one was. If they didn't come out, would people be favoring Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio as much as they are?
Yeah.
Like, I'm wondering if it's just it's not in a vacuum or in a bubble. It's when compared to the other versions of Pinocchio that we had available to us.
I don't even know that I'm strictly comparing it to the other versions either. I think even if it came out by itself, it should still be on this list regardless. It's definitely the better Pinocchio movie of the ones released last year. So go figure. But I think that edges out. I would love to see Marcel win because I love that movie with all my heart. I thought it was fantastic and I wanted to cry. I hear arguments for Puss in Boots. There's a lot of great talk about the Puss in Boots sequel there, and that makes me really want to watch the first one and this one. So that's a thing. I don't know that's going to win. The other side of it too is I have a lot of love for Turning Red as well. And that's Pixar. And Pixar is in the past has always dominated this category, less so in recent years. There's other animation houses have been stepping up and kind of dominating Pixar a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't think Turning Red gets this one. It would be awesome for Domi Shay, because I believe this is her first movie. So that would be a big deal. But there's just a heartwarming thing for me to see Marcel get it and Dean Fleischerkamp get it after creating Marcel as like a little internet video series.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be an Oscar award-winning film.
All right. So moving on, we've got best adapted screenplay. We've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. This one, the one that I saw that a lot of people were saying that was strongly snubbed is She Said.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that. I can see She Said being a huge snub on here, especially because when you have Top Gun Maverick and Glass Onion on here, and the only reason they're considered adapted is because they're sequels.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
I will have to say, like, really I've only seen Top Gun and Glass Onion. I would probably have to give it to Glass Onion. The way the words were done in that, not that I'm an expert of critiquing how words are worded, but
no, you're not.
I like the way Glass Onion was put together. It's so stupid. No, it's not.
It's so dumb. It's brilliant. It's just dumb.
No, it's just dumb. No spoilers on that, but I mean that's a great line. No, it's not. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. And just how everything is pieced together in Glass Onion, and how it all plays out is a really good example of like solid screenplays, solid writing in general. Yeah. There's a world where I think All Quiet on the Western Front does get this. I think you're probably going to see a large sweep from All Quiet on the Western Front wherever it's nominated.
Yeah.
And movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once, or just maybe something else, where some of these other movies aren't nominated and All Quiet is. I think you're going to see a larger sweep from All Quiet here. Oh, Banshees, that's it. Wherever Everything Everywhere All at Once and Banshees aren't nominated, you'll probably see more from All Quiet.
Okay.
I would love to see Glass Onion again. I'm fine with Top Gun not getting this, because I wouldn't have considered Glass Onion or Top Gun really for this category before, but I do like Glass Onion. I would love to see it take something home. This would be a good one.
So, best original screenplay. We've got Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness.
I'm sure Triangle of Sadness is just fine. Haven't seen it yet. We'll be checking it out before the Oscars. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's okay. Why in the hell is it on here and not Nope?
Well, I've got two other ones that are snubbed as well. For original screenplay, I would have also liked to have seen The Menu.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll also bring back horror. I will say Barbarian. Another thing that I think made Barbarian very, very well done, not just the editing, but obviously the screenplay, the whole story, and how the stuff shifts between this scene and then all of a sudden we're looking at this. I'm like, why? But it all fits and it works so well together. So yeah, I would say those two as well. My pick on this, what I want to win, and probably what I would like to see win, will be Banshees. I think Banshees was very well written. The whole conversation, in fact, I'm willing to bet that in the Oscar telecast, when they're reading off the nominations and they're showing like a brief clip from the movie to kind of help support why this movie was nominated, for Banshees, I almost guarantee the conversation is going to be the conversation between the two of them about like, well, I'm nice. Well, in 50 years, who's going to remember you being nice?
I could also save that for an actor.
Yeah. There's also, of course, there's the famous scene now that like, well, you liked me yesterday. Like some of the lines in the dialogue in Banshees was so well done that I really liked it.
You're all having a row?
Yeah.
I think Everything Everywhere All at Once wins this.
I could see that getting it as well.
Especially if it doesn't win Best Picture. I mean, not that that's not how, it works, but in my mind, I can see it getting this if it's not getting Best Picture.
Yeah.
Again, though, I'm sure Triangle of Sadness is fine, but why is Nope not on here? This was Nope's award to be nominated and possibly win for. I'm surprised Nope isn't on here.
Yeah. All right, now we're going to get into the bigger ones. Best Supporting Actress. We've got Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Sue for Everything Everywhere All at Once also. Yay. Happy to see Stephanie Sue in there. Still not sure why Jamie Lee Curtis is in there, but I do want to point out a couple of things with this. One, all the nominees, with the exception of Angela Bassett, this is their first time getting a nomination. Angela Bassett was previously nominated for What's Love Got to Do with It, which makes complete sense. A couple of other snubs on this. We do have Sadie Sink is snubbed for The Whale. I think she deserved a Best Supporting for that. Also, Janelle Monáe for Glass Onion. I think she did phenomenal.
Yeah, Janelle Monáe is a good one.
And then also, I was going to say potentially Hong Chow for The Menu as well.
I don't see a world where she gets nominated for 2 different movies.
If she wasn't in The Whale, then I would like to see her nominated for The Menu. But
it's pronounced Shu.
Stephanie Shu. Yeah,
sure. Here's the thing. I liked her in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis wins this at all, by the way. I am also surprised she's on here, especially when you have movies like She Said or Women Talking, who probably could have had a good entry into this list as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad Stephanie Shu got her nomination here. I don't think she wins. There's a chance she could, but I think the nomination at least is good here. Personally, it's going to come down personally for me that I think it should be Angela Bassett or Hong Chow. I think personally, and I think literally what the Academy is going to vote is going to be Angela Bassett here.
Yeah.
And I think
agree.
that comes down to 2 things. One, her performance, stellar. That stands alone as a reason by itself. Her performance in that movie was standalone by itself. Fantastic. 2, again, it's the relation to the Chadwick. Wow, I just pulled a Dagnino there. A Chadwick Boseman situation. I think you still get some Wakanda Forever love. It's in people's heads. It may not be their outspoken reason for voting towards Wakanda Forever in some situations, but I think it is lingering in people's heads that we want to give this movie as much love where we can.
Yeah.
For that reason. And I think you see Angela Bassett here kind of taking it home, not only just for herself and her performance in that movie, but also for in honor of Chadwick Boseman too.
Yeah. Anyways, I completely agree with all that. So Angela Bassett, who I have winning and who is very likely probably going to win.
Yeah.
Best Supporting Actor, kind of the same thing here. So the nominees for that, we've got Brendan Gleeson for Banshees, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan for Banshees, and Ke Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Obviously, your main power on that's going to be Ke Kwan, who's been winning this award and every single time he's nominated for it. So I expect he's probably going to get it again.
He's got the momentum. He's the odds-on favorite here.
Kind of like the Best Supporting Actress, everyone in this category nominated except Judd Hirsch has never been nominated for acting award. Judd Hirsch was previously nominated for Ordinary People. And then a couple of key snubs in this category is Paul Dano from The Fabelmans.
Yeah.
And Ray Fiennes for The Menu.
The thing with The Menu is so many areas here. I don't think you were ever going to see it actually nominated. I would maybe put Ray Fiennes over Barry Keoghan here. And I would, again, I haven't seen The Fabelmans, but I would think that you would put Paul Dano over Judd Hirsch because his
Judd Hirsch
is a lot larger. Yeah,
Judd Hirsch is only in like one small scene in The Fabelmans, but he does very well with that one scene. Me personally, I do prefer Paul Dano's work in that more than Judd Hirsch. I would want to give it to Paul Dano more. But yeah, like I understand why Judd Hirsch is nominated for that.
Yeah. It's key though.
It's going to K Kwan easily.
He's gonna win. This is, and I relish in and I look forward to seeing his acceptance speech because man, that's going to be one of the moments of the night.
Yeah. Best actress nominees: we got Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough to Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, this is going to Michelle Yeoh.
It's actually still between two. It's between Michelle Yeoh and Cate Blanchett. That's always been the race here. It's always going to be the race here. I personally would love to see Michelle Yeoh win, and I think she's going to slightly edge out Cate Blanchett here, just because there's a lot of hype around her.
For this one, Ana de Armas, Andrea Riseborough, and Michelle Yeoh have never been nominated for an award. Snubbed.
Yeah.
The snubbed on this is huge. This is a huge list of people that should have been. The only one that's bigger than this is the director, which that'll be fun. But who was snubbed in this? You got Viola Davis for The Woman King.
Yes.
Danielle Deadweiler for Till. Olivia Colman for Empire of Light. Margot Robbie for Babylon. And I will also, again, I'll throw in Mia Goth for Pearl. Primarily for Pearl. I know a lot of people will also talk about her character work in X. I think she did a better performance in Pearl than X, especially because she was sustaining all of Pearl herself, and she had some really good moments in that. But yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me, I'm glad we brought up Viola Davis here because Woman King for screenplay as well. Why was Woman King shut out of screenplay? Also, that's kind of a big deal too. And then that reminds me of Lashana Lynch for actress in a supporting role. I believe Lashana Lynch should be in over Jamie Lee Curtis right there for supporting role. But that's me. As far as this goes, I'm sure Ana de Armas did fine in Blonde. I'm sure she did okay. I'm sure she was great. That movie, can we not nominate that movie for anything? Literally anything at all, please. I'm sure she did fine. Save it. She's a great actress. She'll do good work again in the future. Nominate her then. Don't nominate.
She did look. They did a really good job on making her look like Marilyn Monroe, though.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Pass on that. Let's put somebody else in the role. Again, I'm sure she did fine. I'm sure she was great, but
yeah.
Where's Viola Davis?
Michelle Yeoh has got this for Best Actress. I believe she'll win that one. Best Actor. Not a single actor in this category has ever been nominated for a Best Actor, which is wild. But you've got Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nighy for Living.
It's crazy that like at least as I'm looking at this, at least Colin Farrell and Bill Nighy haven't been nominated before.
Yeah, that's
insane.
Snubbed from this one, we've got Eddie Redmayne for The Good Nurse, Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick,
Okay,
Daniel Craig for Glass Onion,
okay,
and Brad Pitt for Babylon.
Okay,
and then also Adam Sandler for Hustle.
Yeah, that's also a good one. Those are all fine. Those are all fine snubs, I guess. I mean, I really did enjoy Adam Sandler and Hustle as well, but obviously, you know, when you're looking at snubs, I'm also looking at them compared to who was nominated, and I'm thinking, you know, I hear a lot of good talk about Paul Mescal and After Sun, Bill Nighy and Living. I think it's a three-way race for me. In my mind, I would love to see Brendan take it because. And that's extra. That's outside of the movie, even though his performance in The Whale is stellar.
Yeah,
it's stellar. I would love to see him win. Again, that would be another moment of the night type situation. I just want to see him win also just for the humanity side of it. See him awarded and be rewarded for his courage to come back and continue pursuing his career and everything. I see I see a lot of momentum behind Austin Butler here. And then there's a lot of good talk around Colin Farrell as well.
Yeah.
I would love to see it come down between Colin Farrell and Brendan Fraser. I just think you can't count out Austin Butler here for the momentum and awards he's already won for the role of Elvis.
I think Brendan Fraser is going to get it.
I would love to see him get it.
I think he's going to get it. That's who I want to see get it, and that's who I think is going to get it. Let me see. So, best director. This
is a good question.
Oh, Lisa Marie Presley's death. I don't know.
It might be another one of those things where it's like lingering in the back of people's minds, but I don't know if this one convinces people to just all out vote for Austin in recognition. Maybe more towards voting it for the movie for Best Picture, but maybe not for Austin as actor.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like Chadwick Boseman's death didn't actually push his performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom to win, even though everyone expected it would.
Yeah.
So I don't know if someone who was not in the actual movie, if their death would cause a push for the actor that played her father, basically.
Yeah.
I still think Brendan Fraser is probably the front runner on that, with Austin Butler closely behind. Go to director. Best director, we've got the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Todd Field for Tar, Martin McDonagh for Banshees of Inisherin, Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness, and Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans.
We talk about this, we talk about Best Picture. It's going to be a split. I think it's going to be a split this year. In years past, a lot of times you've seen, many times you've seen whoever wins Best Director, their movie is the Best Picture. Many times you've seen that. There are times when that doesn't happen, where it's split, and I think this is going to be a split year. I think we're going to have another split year here.
So the snubbed for this category is huge.
Yeah.
So real quick, first of all, if you directed a movie this past year and you just so happen to be a woman, nobody cares.
Apparently.
You've got Gina Prince Blythewood for The Woman King, Charlotte Wells for After Sun, Sarah Polley for Women Talking, and sorry if I messed this up, I deeply apologize, but Chinonye Chuka for Till. Like, that's 4 pretty big movies. Like, no love at all. Other snubbed for these are just surprising. Joseph Kosinski for Top Gun Maverick, Baz Luhrmann for Elvis, and James Cameron for Avatar.
James Cameron was nominated for the first Avatar, right?
I think so.
I think that's all he's going to get out of the Avatar series. Unless one of these Avatar sequels coming up is like groundbreaking in terms of story as well as visual effects.
Yeah.
I don't think we see James Cameron getting nominated or winning best director for Avatar movies.
Best director Oscar sponsored by Five Guys.
That's hilarious.
That's great.
I would have
got the Daniels.
I would have bumped out Triangle of Sadness here for probably Woman King at least. Because I think that would be huge. But my belief is this is going to be a split. This is going to be split between Fabelmans and Everything Everywhere All at Once, where either the Daniels win Best Director and lose Best Picture, or they will win Best Picture and lose Best Director, and the other one will be Steven Spielberg. It's either Fabelmans or Everything Everywhere All at Once for Best Picture, or Steven Spielberg and the Daniels for Best Director.
Yeah.
Did I convey that clear enough?
Yeah. Also, Damien Chazelle for Babylon also didn't make it. That one I kind of understand just because of how polarizing Babylon sounds like it is right now. I could see people maybe being a little bit hesitant on nominating Damien Chazelle.
I would like there to be enough uproar about this that they turn around and nominate 10 directors in the future, just like they're nominating 10 Best Pictures.
They should.
I feel like I understand if you keep it to 5 for actor and actress. I understand. You could make arguments for putting more on there, but at the very least, if you're going to do 10 best pictures, you got to have 10 directors as well. In my opinion, that's my opinion.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm leaning more towards the Daniels on that.
I can see Daniels on this. Yeah.
Best picture. You've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: Way of Water, Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. Snubbed on this.
Every movie that came out this year that wasn't the ones you mentioned.
Yeah. I got three snubs, I would say. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, RRR, and The Menu.
Which is crazy because RRR could be nominated for this, I think, outside of India's decision to place it into the international feature or not.
Yeah.
So this would be a place that RRR could have still won an award.
So for me, out of that list, I would want to see Banshees win. I'm thinking that more likely it's probably going to go to Everything Everywhere All at Once, with like really closely followed up behind that would probably be The Fabelmans.
Yeah. That's the way I view it. If Daniels get Best Director, they lose Best Picture to The Fabelmans. If Steven Spielberg gets Best Director, he loses Best Picture to Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's the way I see it in my mind. Dark horse here also being Banshees and Martin McDonagh. So I don't know that any of these other movies really have a clear shot. And again, this could be crazy. I'm going to say it this way. My prediction is that the race is down between those three. Everything Everywhere All at Once, Banshees, and Fabelmans. Top Gun, no shot here. My favorite movie of the year, your favorite movie of the year, no shot here.
No. It got the nomination, and that's its reward for being such a good movie, and
pretty much
being a movie that was really detrimental to really getting people to come back to the movie theater again.
Yeah.
I think for what it accomplished doing that, it gets the nomination, and that's about it.
I do think that despite it being polarizing, the fact that Babylon isn't on here when it's been getting nominated for so many other Best Picture awards across the various other awards ceremonies that have been happening is kind of insane to me. Here's the thing. I did not predict going into this award season that Triangle of Sadness would be getting any Oscar nominations at all. I am kind of shocked that Triangle of Sadness is here instead of Babylon.
And not looking forward to that one.
And you have to watch it.
So those of y'all who might not be familiar, I don't like puking in movies, in which anyone who knows anything about Triangle of Sadness knows that there's at least a 15-minute scene of everyone like having food poisoning or being seasick during a storm, and just everyone's puking all over the place on this ship. And yeah. I'm not looking forward to that. Like, this is how bad it is. I won't rewatch Bridesmaids again because of that wedding dress scene, the shopping scene. Here's the thing. I could just skip it. Yes, I know. I could just fast forward and not watch it.
I want to make it known again. I did watch Midsommar, and I skipped 2 scenes. You can watch a movie
and skip the scene, but
as long as you know when they're coming.
Just because of how bad I really did not like that scene the first time I watched it. I was like, I just don't want to watch the movie, even though the rest of the movie is completely hilarious, and I love everything else about that movie. But
he's queasy.
Yeah. So, and as Tori's pointing out in the chat right now, I can watch gory horror movies where people are ripped limb from limb, and I can see intestines and body parts and gore just all over the place. Terrifier 2, no problem for me. 100% was perfectly fine. But yeah, watching people puke is not interesting to me at all. So I'm not looking forward to watching Triangle of Sadness.
That being said, I am on the opposite. I can handle puking scenes. I'm fine with it. It's gross.
You just can't handle the gore.
It's usually disgusting. I'm just not a fan, but usually after a puking scene, everyone's okay and is moving on. Gore? No, because usually after gore, people are dead. So not too big a fan of gore. So funny enough, since we would like to be able to watch all of the Best Picture nominees, at least, We're going to do a fun little trade-off here where I will probably be the first one out of the two of us to watch Triangle of Sadness, and he'll probably be the first one out of the two of us to watch All Quiet on the Western Front. And then we will report back to the other whether or not the other one can handle
Could
the movie
handle,
or not.
yeah. So that's why I put like on after the nominees went up, I put on Twitter. I was like, okay, so all the press and everything I've seen for Triangle of Sadness, it looks like they're just puking gold. Which, if that's all they're doing, I'm fine with that. I'm usually okay if people are puking something that doesn't look like puke.
Yeah.
Like the Evil Dead remake, one girl pukes like just straight blood. That's fine. Or like I think the It Chapter 2, people are puking like black bile. That's fine. I just don't want it to actually look like puke. That's gross. Right. So, but anyways, hoping it's easy to take in. But yeah, that's it for the nominations. So we're going, like I said, we're going to do a live watch along when the Oscars come out. So kind of like what we've done in previous years, we'll sit here, we'll watch it live. Feel free to watch the Oscars live with us. Who knows what crazy shenanigans we're going to get into now. What's funny is you go back and you watch our Oscar watch along from last year, and I'm looking at the analytics, and the only thing people watch from our watch alongs is going back when the slap happened. Yeah, if you go and you look at like what's the part that's the most watched of this entire like 4-hour long video, it's everyone always zooms in straight to where the slap was.
We didn't do the was it the 2017? We didn't do the 2017 Oscars anywhere, right?
I don't think so. When they had the mishap between the La La Land and
Moonlight.
Yeah. I wish if we had that would have been phenomenal to get like a pure reaction to. But yeah, stuff like this happens on award shows, people, and it's going to be kind of fun to react to live. So we'll see if this happens again.
I feel like it's almost a guarantee that something crazy is going to happen almost every year at this point. And
I'm also wondering if they're planning for it now.
Someone somewhere on production's going to be like, oh God, no, why not again? Every single year.
Tori, who do you want to get slapped this year? I don't know. Can we bring in the people that do the Golden Globes? Can we just slap all of them? Because that would be fun. It's not fair. I actually just want to slap that president guy that caused Brendan Fraser to be like blacklisted, essentially.
I'm looking at the list of nominees. I'm trying to think if any of these people would
deserve a slap.
Should get slapped.
What would be amazing is if they got Neil Patrick Harris to host the Oscars this year. Right. Doing the slap from How I Met Your Mother.
I will take one order of Daniels slapping each other in the faces when they get their award.
That would be fun. Anyways, like I said, as we get closer to the Oscars, we'll probably be updating on here. Like, yeah, I watched such and such movie. There's one particular movie that is nominated for Best Picture that I'm trying to watch, and it is like pulling teeth watching this movie.
For you,
I'm not going to say what it is yet, just in case I need to save face, but oh my God.
I know what it is.
This movie is not going to rank high for me like ever, but
I know what it is, and I haven't watched it yet either, and you're really making the hard sell.
I'm really selling you on it, aren't I? Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'll probably talk about it more as when we get to the actual Oscars, but I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying to do my job, my due diligence here to run this YouTube channel. I've made a commitment that I have to watch all these movies, even if they're puking in them. So,
do you have subtitles on? Because that could help you if you have help you focus if you have to read.
I might need to turn on subtitles. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show tonight. So coming up, again, those of y'all that are not on the Patreon who are thinking about potentially joining our Patreon, if you have the means and you want to hang out, after this show, we will be over on our Discord in the voice chat. We are going to be doing a Captain America Winter Soldier watch along tonight, right after this. So hop on the Patreon. It's at the $5 due tier, just $5 a month. You get to watch a movie with us every month. And it won't be Captain America the Winter Soldier every month, but it will be a movie. Sometimes you get to vote on it. Sometimes we just make that decision just because it's easier for us.
Sometimes we just like the executive decision that we get to make because, hey, it's our channel.
Yeah. So that is coming up here in just a few minutes after we're done here. we'll be heading over there for that. Otherwise, coming up this Friday, it is the marquee. It is just the two of us. We are tier ranking our most anticipated movies of 2023. Should be a lot of fun. We got like 40 something movies, I think we're ranking on this. It was at 37. We've increased it to like 40 something now. So
40, it's like 48 now.
Yeah. So while typically I would say like ranking 48 movies would be a really long episode, here's the fun benefit. We haven't seen any of these movies yet, so it's going to be real easy to talk about. Are you anticipating it? Yes, I am. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, moving on to the next one. Are you anticipating this? Yes,
We're
I am.
going to put a little more detail into it than that. Don't be dissuaded by like, okay, I'm not going to tune in if they're just going to be like, oh, okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it. We're going to talk about it a little bit more than that.
Yeah. But
There's going to be things to say, but just keep in mind, we're not going to dive in as much as a movie that we have seen and have a lot to speak about.
It should be a very brisk.
It'll be fun though. It'll be fun. 48 movies, guys. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We have that list. We should put it up on the Discord at some point too, right? That way people
might
can
put it
start.
up on the Discord a little bit
So
later.
if you are a patron member of us, at least at the $1 tier, you have access to the Discord. We will put up that list and you'll be able to organize and put together your own list based on the movies that we are putting on there. Keep in mind, we are not putting every single movie that's coming out this year on that list. There's going to be some movies that you might be looking forward to that just aren't going to be on our list that we're going to be talking about. So keep that in mind when you sign up to the Patreon, get it on the Discord, and make your own list of the movies that we put on there.
And also, we're not including any movies that I've already seen. So I'm not including Megan or Missing or Skinamarink. I've already seen those. I'm no longer anticipating them. So
yes.
Anyways, that is coming up. That is this Friday, the 27th at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, right here live. Make sure you come join us because we want to know your picks as well. Are y'all anticipating the Barbie movie as much as we are? Spoiler alert. That one's going to be pretty high, probably.
Otherwise, C tier.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's it for the show tonight. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you drop a like, a comment if you're rewatching this later, and make sure you subscribe. You can follow us at CinefanaticsMLP on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me personally at RobertAdamsMLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Also, youtube.com/@RobertAdamsMLP.
Yep, and you can follow me at ChrisAdamsMLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/ChrisAdamsMLP.
Yep. Anyways, again, thank y'all for watching. Glad to see y'all. Hopefully we're seeing a bunch of y'all here in a few minutes over on the Discord. But as for right now, we will see y'all Friday if we don't. Good night.
Later.
Is that like supposed to be your Robin mask?
It's whatever you want to be, baby. And